So, how on earth did I do Dark Ages with no sun at all? How much pain did I endure trying to do this challenge in Neon Mixtape Tour? How did I deal with the bulky robots of the far future? How did I do all of this with just one seed slot? Well, all these questions will be answered in today's video. This is the third part of the Plants vs Zombies 2 one seed slot challenge. We went over all the rules and that stuff in the first video, which is linked below, and I'd highly suggest you watch that and the second episode for some more context. But if you'd rather just skip to this video and watch me suffer in the harder worlds, then that's also fine. Well, fine for you, not so fine for me who had to spend so many hours doing this. In all seriousness though, this challenge has been a blast. You guys are loving it, I'm loving the elevated difficulty and problem solving, so let's dive straight into the far future. Unfortunately, day 8 is still impossible as I haven't beaten the level since the first video. With the help of Red Stinger and power tiles, we powered through day 9, and day 10, and day 11. We had a close call with the Gargantuas of day 12, but the lawnmowers saved the day once again. Day 13 and 14 were both just more Red Stinger spam. Seriously, Red Stinger is probably the best plant to use in this challenge. It strikes a perfect balance between damage output and sun cost. Since we can only rely on sun that falls from the sky, we need to use cheap plants. Red Stinger is 150 suns, so this is just 3 sun drops from the sky, which isn't too bad. For this cost, we get a very powerful plant, essentially a cheaper repeater. Day 15 was a lot more difficult, since these citrons were so close to the zombies. However, Red Stinger clutched up once again. You can see here that we even found a use in its bulky defensive form. It was able to protect this middle citron. Day 16 was a conveyor belt level, but we managed to succeed with only citron. Also, I made sure I placed the power tiles down in tiles with no plants, so that they don't impact the gameplay at all. For day 17, we were forced to use these given plants. As you can see, this is a bit of a problem, since the only plant we can use to actually damage the zombies is magnifying grass. Obviously, in this challenge we can't use sun producers, only the magnifying grass. So was this level possible with magnifying grasses only powered by the sun falling from the sky? Well, yes actually. I was surprised, but this one is just possible. With the help of the lawnmowers, of course. Things were going surprisingly well so far, but sadly day 18 was impossible since it was a Produce X Sun level. Day 19 was a Sunborn level that I found use in Coconut Cannon for. An unorthodox pick, but it works nonetheless. Day 20 was extremely close, but the amount of tanky zombies kept breaking through the line of endangered starfruits. Day 21 was another Produce X Sun level, so unfortunately it's another impossible one. Day 22 was quite simple with Red Stinger. I made use of the power tiles to shred through the football mechs with Red Stinger's plant food. Day 23 was also a Red Stinger sweep. Our second last level of the far future was a Sunborn's level, which Wintermelon shredded through. Now, time for the boss fight. The boss fight of Far Future was looking good at first. I managed to get decently far with both Laserbean and Citron. Here's the plant distribution table for the conveyor belt. Well, if you can even call these plants. Surprisingly, the scarce amount of laser beans or citrons that the conveyor provides wasn't what made the level impossible. It was actually the ridiculous abundance of powerful zombies that Zomboss spawns about halfway through the battle. The amount of plant food given just can't keep up with the amount of Gargantuas he spawns. I mean, just look at this! I'm pretty sure I remember when this world first came out, Citron's plant food would insta-kill a Gargantua Prime, like it does to any other robotic zombie. But now it takes the usual 2 hits to kill the Gargantua Prime like other insta-kill attacks. If this was still true, maybe the level could have been possible, but for now, it's not looking beatable. Overall, I'm quite impressed with how easy Far Future was in comparison to the previous couple worlds. This is probably due to the fact that there's no softlocks like the combination of Parasol and Excavator zombies, and frozen winds restricting the plants we can select. Or plant, more accurately. In total, we managed to blitz through 20 out of the 25 levels in this world. Considering 2 of the impossible levels were down to the Produce Sun gimmick, I'm pretty proud of the progress here. And now we arrive at the infamous world for this challenge. So, in the first video for this challenge, we found night 1 to be impossible, and it still is. Basically, we start off with 75 sun. No sun falls from the sky, but there are sun gravestones. So theoretically, if we use a plant equal to or less than sun cost 75, we can plant it in front of the sun gravestones to keep the level going. However, no plant we have, at least so far, is a 75 sun or cheaper plant capable of damaging gravestones. I tried Nightshade believing it would be the solution, but Nightshade doesn't even attack gravestones. So we'll have to skip night 1 for now, but we'll come back to it later. And after night 1, we unlocked one of the most useful plants for this challenge. Sunshroom. All jokes aside, night 2 gives us Puffshroom as a pre-selected plant. Sunshroom may be useless to us, but Puffshroom is quite the opposite. Being a 0 sun cost spammable attacking plant, it counters many of the ails that this challenge brings. That being said, it's still a pretty awful plant. Unlike the first game, you can't just fill a lawn with these to win, since they disappear after a short time. So relying on Puffshroom to beat whole levels in this challenge is less than ideal. But for Dark Ages, Puffshroom is our only option, it's our saving grace. Since this world provides no natural source of sun, and we can't plant sunflowers, Puffshroom is basically the only option for the 1 seed slot we're restricted to in the Dark Ages. This was certainly the case in Night 2, where after a bunch of attempts, we managed to break through the wall of bucket heads and beat the level, making use of Puffshroom's plant food. As for Night 3, it was close. Seriously close. Night 4 was a break from the Puffshroom chaos, being a conveyor belt level. I remember as a kid I would play this level a bunch because Hypnoshroom, my favourite plant since the first game, is featured here without the need to purchase it. With no way of buying the plant, I was restricted to using the plant in just this level. Well, not really, but this is a conveyor belt level, so it was more entertaining for my 2014 kid self. And fittingly, we managed to beat this level with just Hypnoshroom and his gargantua transforming abilities. It was here that I realized, hey, we have a Puffshroom now, let's go back into Night 1 and beat it. And that's exactly what we did. At this point I was pretty happy with myself. I mean, I thought this world would basically be impossible with a 1 seed slot given the gimmick of no sun and... oh no. So yeah, this guy. From day 5 onwards we'll be seeing a lot of him. And this means that we won't be seeing a lot of Puffshroom, which means we won't be seeing many possible levels. In case you couldn't tell, Jester Zombies completely shut down the Puffshroom strategy, since they reflect Puffshroom's projectiles. With literally no other way to beat Dark Ages levels with 1 seed slot, we'll just be skipping the levels that have this jerk. These levels are Night 5, Night 9, Night 11, Night 12, Night 16, Night 17, and Night 19. So with that out of the way, here's how the rest of the levels played out that didn't involve Party Pooper over here. Night 6 was the last stand level. You already know how I beat this one. Night 7 spared us from the Jesters, but introduced the Night Zombies. Trying to kill these things with just Puffshroom is genuine torture. You need to place like a whole row of Puffshrooms in front of them or spam plant food. Or of course you can do it my way. These are the given plants for Night 8. We can only afford to start the level with Sunshroom, Sunbean, or Gravebuster. Sunshroom can't kill zombies, Gravebuster can break the sun graves but it doesn't matter because it'll lock us into using it for the rest of the level, and Sunbean can't damage zombies either. Or can it? You may know that Sunbean's plant food instantly destroys the zombie that eats it. After remembering this vital information, I proceeded to try to beat the level with just Sunbean's plant food ability. After an extremely long and tiresome few hours, I managed to finally pull it off. Nah, just kidding, it's impossible obviously. Too little plant food and too little sun. It sounded epic on paper at least. Night 10 was the Gargantua battle of this world. And unsurprisingly, the Gargantuas are what led to this one being impossible. So here's the plant probability distribution for this level. Of these plants, only Fumeshroom is really suitable for the level, and it only has a 40% chance of showing up, which isn't too bad compared to some other conveyor belt levels we've played. It also has a cap of 15 Fumeshrooms. This means at most, with good RNG, we can get 3 columns of Fumeshrooms down. After a bunch of resets and RNG, we managed to get to the final wave. And there's 2 Gargs. They're just too tanky, man. Night 13 is another conveyor belt level, and since our old friend Jester is here, we have to use Fumeshroom, and we can only have a maximum of 1 column of them. Yeah, this isn't possible. Night 14 is also impossible since it's a produce X amount of sun level. Night 15 was a pain, I must have tried it like 20 times. The level starts out okay since it's a last stand level, but then it just turns to mayhem when the knights and bucketheads and wizards start coming out. After ages of attempting this level, I was about to give up. Then this happened. With some quick thinking and fast reflexes, I managed to shovel up some snapdragons to build up some sun to focus on the rogue wizard on the top lane. That's what allowed for the insane ending. So night 15 is possible. It only took a whopping 7 impossible levels after night 7 to find another possible level. Night 18 is a locked and loaded level. Here are the given plants. Yeah, we literally can't plant anything that does damage. And we finally arrive at day 20, the Zomboss battle of the Dark Ages. As always, it's a conveyor battle. Time to look at the plant distribution table. The only plant that can hit Jesters is Fume Shroom, meaning we're forced to use it once again. And the most Fume Shrooms we can plant is 2 columns worth. Add this to the fact that this boss fight is difficult enough in a regular run of the game, this is a lost cause. I tried to make it work, but the copious amounts of Bucketheads and Jesters were just too much for a few Fume Shrooms to handle. So, all in all, 7 out of 20 Dark Ages levels were possible. Whilst this is by far the worst number we've accumulated out of any world so far, I'm still quite surprised that we even managed to scrape this much out of the bottom of this challenge's barrel. That is Dark Ages. Let's just say, thank God this world is only 20 levels long. Let's move to Neon Mixtape Tour with haste. We managed to make it all the way up to day 7 in this world in the first episode of the challenge. So, have I found a solution for day 7? Well, I tried with a bunch of plants, and still nothing worked. Day 8 was the same case. These Neon Mixtape Tour levels just throw so many zombies at such a rapid pace due to the punk jam that it's just hopeless. And I thought this would be the same case for day 9, especially since the gimmick is to produce sun. However, the twist with this level is that they give you the sunflowers, you just have to let the punk zombies kick them back. Easy, right? Well, no. With 5 rows of punk zombies coming in, I had to be extremely mindful of the plant's recharge times. As a result, I chose Pea Shooter of all plants to tackle this level. Its low sun cost definitely helped too. Who would have thought that the old Pea Shooter would come in handy so late in the game? This is just one of many surprises this challenge has brought so far, and is yet to bring as we enter the end game of Plants vs Zombies 2. Anywho, when I say this level is hard, I mean this level is really hard. Both in terms of how precise my pea shooter timing had to be at all times, as well as the difficulty applied on my endurance. My ability to sit at my computer and play this same level for so long, failure after failure. If I placed a pea shooter 1 millisecond too early or late, I swear, it would cause the punk zombies to push the sunflowers too far up the lawn or off the lawn entirely. And since the sun goal for this level was damn near infinity, we couldn't afford to lose a single sunflower. And after pulling off world record levels of precision for the punk zombies, the easiest part of the level was over. Yeah, you heard me right, the easiest. Because all hell breaks loose straight after when we're forced to defend these flimsy sunflowers from what feels like Zomboss's whole 80s army. Literally one punk zombie to kick on a sunflower or one glitter zombie roller skate on a sunflower is all it takes to lose the level. Because at the end of the level, after all these attempts, I was always 50 or 100 sun off the goal. Midway through my attempts, I realized that I had to play the level absolutely perfectly to get through it and make the sun goal. So that's what I did. I actually did it. These are my notes for the level that I wrote right after I beat it. In case you don't know, on my channel I have a playlist of unlisted footage of each of the more notable levels of this run. You'd better believe the raw footage of that whole level is going straight to the playlist. If you want to see the level of precision required, I'd suggest you check out that unlisted video when I put it up in the playlist. Anyway, we have the rest of Neon Mixtape Tour to go through, so let's keep the ball rolling. Day 10 is impossible due to the sheer number of zombies. I tried this with various plants, but it didn't go anywhere. So I was kinda anticlimactic compared to day 9. I swear, the punk gem is the bane of my existence. If the Dark Ages Zero Sun gimmick is the most annoying for this challenge, the punk gem is probably second. Day 11 has us using given plants. As you can see right here, we can only use 3 Peter. Trust me, that didn't go too well. I even resorted to using Potato Mine, and that went exactly how you'd think. Day 12 was a great return for Red Stinger, making for a surprisingly easy level compared to the last few. Red Stinger's plant food and, as always, the lawnmower took care of the gargantua at the end of this level. Day 13 was the last stand level, and wow, this one was tough. I don't know if it's because I can't use Time Warp, or because they don't have enough sun for your defense, or if it's just a tough level in general, but man, I even had to search up how to beat the level on YouTube. That didn't help though, because nobody had done it with just one plant, or for good reason. I gave up for now, but when we finally unlock Primal Potato Mine, you better believe first thing I'm doing is coming back to this level. If I remember, that is. Day 14 was possible with just Cactus. Although Cactus is a premium, I'm gonna let it slide because it was a locked and loaded level. Anyone can just open up this level and use it. Day 15 was impossible. This was down to the fact that it was just impossible to defend the columns of fat beats before the zombies would catch up to them. I managed to get halfway through the level thanks to Colonel Pult, but no further. Day 16 was also impossible because the game basically forces you to use fat beats since it's the initial plant on the conveyor belt and has a high probability thereafter. Fat beat has to be one of the worst plants in the game. It's like spending 150 sun to tickle zombies in a 3x3 area. Like seriously, what were they thinking when they made a plant do so little damage? Fat beat is an embarrassment to Gloomshroom from the first game. Anyway, fat beat rant aside, I couldn't even make it past the first wave. It's not like these fat beats can handle a gargantua and all the bucketheads anyway. Red Stinger, Colonel Pult and Snapdragon all failed to beat day 17, so I turned to Celery Stalker. As usual, Celery Stalker absolutely annihilated the zombies and saved the day, being able to attack the breakdancer zombies from behind the zombies being pushed forwards, ruining the zombies' whole strategy. Red Stinger took care of day 18. With some good electric blueberry RNG, day 19 was all good too, as was day 20 with Red Stinger yet again. Albeit by the skin of my teeth. Or should I say the skin of the lawnmower's teeth. Day 21 had this line of flowers. Not only does this mean we have to stop the speedy zombies of this world before the flowers, but we also can't rely on the good old lawnmowers for obvious reasons. I tried with a lot of plants, but none of them did the trick. The breakdancers didn't help one bit. Day 22 introduced both a plant and a zombie that will strongly influence the run. These are Spore Shroom and Arcade Zombie. Spore Shroom is a great plant for the run since it solves the lack of plants that results from depending on sun falling from the sky. And it has a conveniently low sun cost too. On the other hand, this day also introduces Arcade Zombie, who serves the same purpose as Spore Shroom but for the zombie side. I didn't realize at first how much of a pain Arcade Zombie would be, but after going through the rest of Neon Mixtape Tour, I have nightmares of this guy. Okay, not really, but you get the point. Arcade Zombie's arcade machine is so tough to destroy with limited plants, and even worse are the 8-bit zombies he spawns. When this man drops a buckethead right on your defenses, you might as well just restart the level then and there. Unless you're playing the game normally like any sane person would. This first level showed off how deadly the 8-bit zombies can be. Look at them just pile up and shred through our defenses. After a few tries, I managed to finally beat the level. Wait. Okay, I beat it for real this time. Red Stinger carried again in day 23. Then this happened. Yes, as if these pesky 8-bit zombies weren't annoying enough already, they can survive lawnmowers. This is obviously a problem because of how much I depend on lawnmowers to carry in this challenge. I believe they can pull off this magic by spawning during the arcade machine's death animation, which lasts longer than the frames where the lawnmower speeds past, leaving a short period of time after the lawnmower passes to spawn more 8-bit zombies. Day 24's Gargantuas were no match for our Red Stingers. Well, I mean lawnmowers. Day 25 was pretty easy with Red Stinger. Take a look at this Congo line of bucketheads. Do you see why these arcade zombies are so awful for this challenge? I mean, this is stuff of nightmares when you don't have the usual insta-kill plants. Day 26 was looking good until it wasn't. Even if I managed to survive till the last wave, the arcade zombies would just spawn an ocean of 8-bit zombies or just straight up crush the endangered Spore Shrooms. Spore Shroom cleaned up day 27. Day 28 was impossible simply because of how quickly the zombies ramp up at the start of the level. Thanks again, Arcade Zombie. Day 29 was hard but possible with Red Stinger. Day 30 was flat out impossible. Why? Just look at this. The boombox zombie stuns your plants, allowing the arcade zombies to slowly creep their way up the lawn and unleash their 8-bit minions. Day 31 was a locked and loaded level with Electric Blueberry, and we managed to win on the first attempt. It was all skill. Totally not Electric Blueberry Orange. Day 32. what many claim to be this game's hardest zomboss battle. This statement is likely also fair for this challenge. Why? Well, here's the plant distribution table. Yeah, trying to beat the game's hardest zomboss battle with just 6 fat beets or spore shrooms just isn't possible. Even if this limit wasn't here, the probability of getting one of these plants is excruciatingly low anyway. I didn't even manage to make it past Zomboss's first phase. To conclude, here's the tally for Neon Mixtape Tour. 21 out of 32 levels were possible. That's way better than the Dark Ages, and overall better than I expected from this world, considering it's one of the last worlds in the game. On the topic of last worlds in the game, next episode, the finale of this challenge, will feature the toughest and most action-packed worlds in Plants vs Zombies 2. Jurassic Marsh, Big Wave Beach, and Modern Day. Will we be able to rack up scores just as well as we did with Neon Mixtape Tour? Or will these world's extremely hard levels all be near impossible? We'll find out in the next video.